Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Burns, Director of Age Friendly Boston for the City of Boston's Age Strong Commission. Just to let everyone know, the program will be re-aired on Boston City TV Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. and on Boston Neighborhood Network, known as BNN, throughout the week on Xfinity Channel 23, RCN Channel 83, FiOS Channel 2160. Today we celebrate Black History Month. Black history is American history. Now I'd like to introduce Mr. Emmanuel Owusu. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Thank you, Barbara, for the warm introduction. And I want to say I'm excited to be back again. The last time we met, it was in person. We could greet, hug each other, but we have to deal with this for now. It's better than all staying back. So I am really excited to be back again to give some of you an update. And for some of you, it will be my first introduction to the work we do here. So as Andrea said, my name is Emmanuel Owusu. I serve as the Executive Director for African Bridge Network. Um, the work we do is assisting recent immigrants, especially those who are coming in with degrees, to help them build their career in the Commonwealth. And I'm sure some of you will connect to this. After you build your career in one country, you are forced to move to another country, and then you get there, it's a different ball game. A good number of people are starting from scratch, and because there's no support, they end up in places where their skills and potentials are underutilized. So we've been doing this work for the last 7 years. The last time I was with you last year, I gave you a comprehensive overview of all the service that we do, and I'm happy to do more if anyone is more interested. But today, I just want to highlight the update where we are today. Even in the midst of COVID, we still continue to serve recent skilled immigrants coming in. Since the last time we've met, we've trained 6 new volunteer career advisors that work with recent immigrants still looking for job. We've moved all of our programming online now, and in terms of the recent immigrants, we serve about 120 of them since the last time we've met. And then about 60 of them, we touch them one on one, helping them to figure out who they are in the new world they find themselves in, work on their resume, work on their transferable skills, and then eventually help them place them into job. I have a story to share with you. There was this guy who used to work with the UN at Congo, was forced to move to the US, and when he came in, he was working at a liquor store. He was really demoralized, and he really didn't know what to do. After we worked with him for about 3 months, we were able to place him with Concaps, working as one of their service rep, because that was the work he was doing. He was in telecommunication, so able to work for Comcast was really a 360 turnaround for him, and he's full of joy. And we have stories like that. About 65 of the people we work with, we're able to place them into jobs. But that is not all. We've all doing this virtually because of COVID. COVID has also hit us quite well. So beside we moving our services virtual, we also realized the community needed help. And I mean the African community at this point. So the first thing we've done since the last time we met in person, we've able to distribute about 5,000 masks to members of the communities. And on top of that, whilst we're doing that, we realized food insecurity was a major issue. So as I'm sharing the updates with you, giving out 750 grocery gift card, $100 each to members of the community. The need is still there, and we still keep going. And as society, we're looking at vaccine as our way out. People want to take the vaccine, but we all know the challenges of getting to the state portal to register. So that is one area we're seeing a challenge. Yes, people are hesitant, but I think for now there's a healthy dose of people who would like to get the vaccine and try to help all of us get our life back to normal. So this is where we are. We're still helping the community recover from the pandemic, either through giving out gift card, grocery gift card, or now we're trying to figure out the best way we can help them get the vaccine. So I'm putting this out there. If you're listening to me, two things I'm going to ask. If you know an employer who can help us place recent immigrant into job, please let me know. And if you can help with the food insecurity stuff, let me know. And if you want to volunteer as an advisor to help recent immigrants, some of you connect with this story. You came in, it was challenge, you want to give back, please let me know. And lastly, our work run on good people like you and I who sometimes give us their treasure. So if you want to support us financially, you are also welcome. You can reach me through Barbara, but you can also go to our website, www.africanbn.org. We'll put the address and my contact in the chat so that folks can get to it. But I'll pause at this point and I'll turn it over to Sarah. And I'll be able to answer questions through the chat or any other format it comes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for that, telling us a little bit more about your organization. It will be added in the chat, so thank you everyone for joining. Please look for that below. My name is Sarah, and I'm the curriculum coordinator for A Taste of African Heritage and A Taste of Latin Heritage. I bet you're probably wondering, what is our African heritage diet? Well, our African heritage diet is a healthy traditional eating model based on the common threads of foodways of our African heritage ancestors. This diet recognizes the distinct flavors and traditions of the four major regions of the African diaspora: the West and Central Africa, the American South, the Caribbean, and also South America. The core of Oldways African Heritage and Health program is our 6-week cooking series, which is called A Taste of African Heritage. We also have a 7-week teaching series for our children's curriculum. These curriculums blend nutrition and history with delicious cooking boutiques to celebrate our African heritage communities across the country. For more information regarding our free online teachers training and licensing the curriculum, we welcome you to visit our Oldways website. And we also have our social media outlets, so our Instagram page, our Facebook, and Twitter. So we welcome you to get more involved. And now we'll be introducing the video.
This is more than just about food. It really is about shaping people's identity and how they see themselves through their food, how they see their culture being a part of their health solution. The Taste of African Heritage and Health program is for anyone, whether it's been trying to lose weight, improve their health, lacking cooking skills, don't know other creative ways, enhance their meals in their homes. The research really does show that when we eat a more traditional heritage diet, that we improve our health outcomes. And I think that's really the core of what Oldways is about and what it's doing in terms of helping the community. This program now with the Taste of African Heritage and Health.
African Heritage Diet Pyramid was created with a committee of nutrition scientists, experts in culinary history and African American foodways.
It's much easier to do because you can identify with that. I know what greens are, and so I can identify with eat a lot of this. You can have the brown rice and the millet and you know the barley. You have all of these healthy whole grains here.
And those kinds of grains that really is a part of the heritage that needs to be built upon. On top of that, the tubers, the healthy starches from the yams to the sweet potatoes. And then you have the balance of fruits that will come from everything from the tropical fruits like the papayas, the melons, the mangoes, the pineapples, the bananas, plantains, and them serving as really desserts compared to what we traditionally have now.
Once you sort of shift your mindset to looking at your plate as more of a heritage plate, it's going to redefine everything that you can put on there. So when you look at a plate now and you say, that should have some whole grains, or that should have and beans, and my greens, and my vegetables, fruit for dessert.
And it's so empowering This idea of connecting to your heritage and improving your health through connecting to your heritage.
In the Taste of African Heritage and Health program, we evaluate how the students are going through the process and what lessons that we can learn to improve the program and what it has meant for their life and for their family, and most of all, how they have improved their health.
So my name is Danessa Bowling. I live in Houston. I am actually on my 4th series of the class. I committed myself to do this for a full year. So it was a time of a serious transition for me. And so at this point, I had lost my mom, my grandmother, and my aunt to cancer. It's like, okay, being realistic, I'm overweight, I'm at risk for diabetes, yeah, I'm African American. I just didn't know what to do. I can't control cancer, I can't control heart disease, I can't control diabetes. I can control this. This is my thing I can do. And so I thought, well, I'll do it and I'll teach it and it'll help me. Is in addition to teaching and learning and eating healthy, you get this sense of community with people.
This idea of culture being a part of your medicine. We talk about cultural competency, but we never really see the integration of culture in the form of community programs. And the Taste of African Heritage and Health program does the very thing that the community has been longing for, and why it's being embraced so much more than ever, and why it's so desperately needed.
I believe that this can be the thing that could bring people together, where we could break down some barriers that we never thought could be broken down with food.
The idea of our culture and our community, they both are tied into our cuisine, can be a part of our medicine, our nutrition. That's what this program provides more than ever.
That was a video on our African Heritage program, told by a few of our ambassadors, but now I'm going over to introduce a long-term African Heritage instructor, Glorya Fernandez. Glorya is the marketing manager of Afro-American Culture Initiative. She has a YouTube channel, very popular, called Go-Go Bites. She is a culinary instructor at the Daily Table. She has previously worked with the City of Boston on food access and with Boston Public Schools as a family community outreach coordinator. Glorya has recently collaborated on a meal preparation project with the Madison Park CDC and Fair Foods. And also during the pandemic, Glorya has donated around 7 to 10 pounds of fresh produce to 15 families throughout her community. Please join me in welcoming our awesome instructor, Glorya.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, everyone. How are you?
So
Happy
good.
Thursday? Happy Wednesday. Oh, gosh.
Yes.
Hi. It's really a pleasure to be here. You know, Oldways and I go way, way back. I heard about Oldways probably over 20 years ago when a very popular teacher at Cambridge Region Latin, Mr. Kimbrough, passed away, and his wife talked about Oldways, and she had at the memorial like the poster, yeah, and she talked. Yeah, she had the poster up, and she talked about how we can take control as best we can by what we put in our bodies, and I never forgot that. And then a couple of years ago, I was walking by the Boston Public Market, and I happened to see, yeah, exactly. I happened to see a presentation going on, and it was a really difficult time. I was actually coming back from child support court, you know, and going back to work at Boston Healthcare for the Homeless, where I used to cook there. And I remember just walking through, and the instructor just talked to me. She said, yeah, this is something you could do. And I was just like, this is what I wanted to, like, I want to learn. And for me, I have more of a sense of accountability if I'm teaching too, you know, like you kind of have to keep yourself in check. And I just fantasized about it. And then, you know, a couple of years later, to be able, last year for Martin Luther King's birthday, my very first time doing that type of instruction for an organization like the Armenian Heritage Park and with the City of Boston, it was, Oldways has become very special to me in that regard. So I'm really happy to be here and represent you guys.
Absolutely. And we're happy to have you join us. I mean, definitely have been able to get involved with the community and I think the outreach with our African Heritage program. So it's been great having you join us. And yes, I love how you mentioned the connection with a program that we had last year that you were able to assist with. So Glorya will, for all the audience, Glorya will be around for a while. She's here to
I can't go no place. Nobody else wants me.
Oh, I doubt that. But absolutely. So I think we should probably show a little bit of Glorya's cooking. I bet that's the reason why everyone's here. We have a pre-recorded cooking demo that we're going to show of some dishes that Glorya made. And then everyone, we welcome you to please feel free to add your questions. And towards the end, we'll be able to do a Q&A to ask Glorya some questions on the recipe. And if you have any questions about our African Heritage program, please feel free to add those in the chat box and we'll try to get to as many as possible.
Hi there, welcome to my kitchen. I thought it was just fitting to honor the colors of the African American flag, red, black, and green, with designing recipes that incorporate just about everything delicious and healthy that's red, black, and green. I also wanted to honor some ancient and old flavors like cumin and sumac, za'atar, ginger. Sorry, I think I might have forgotten the ginger, but incorporate it somewhere in your life. Let's get started. I have designed this little treat because I know for a fact that Dr. Michael Greger says that red pepper is better for you raw. So I designed a recipe keeping that in mind, and they're loaded with vitamin C. So let's say you're doing this for two. I have a cup of cut up red peppers. I have a cup of green cucumbers. I like the English ones. I don't take off the skin. I figure it must be there for a reason. So good washing. Then, listen, onions. I like the purple onions. I like yellow onions, all different color onions. So I got onions in here. You know, I have about 2 tablespoons in here because I like onions. I also have some garlic. About 1.5 cloves or 2. It's really your preference. Now, this is the thing that gives this salad a little extra something. And I'm going to show it to you. Olives, red, black, and green. This is, the real treat in here is keep some of the vinegar that the olives are in. I have about anywhere from 2 to 3 tablespoons. I have about 1/2 cup of olives, and I go to the a store in Rosendale Square here in Massachusetts, and I get the huge, it's like about this big, black Kamada olives. I keep them in the house because quite a number of years ago I was reading a prevention magazine, and it talked about belly fat diets, how to get rid of it. And olives were like in your lunch and in your dinner. So trust me, brother and sister, I try to keep olives in the house. I just want to show you this, how beautiful this looks. Oh, I know, right into the sunlight. Oh, let me give you a little extra something here. Thank you. The next recipe that I want to share with you incorporates red, black, and green also. This is a little bit more. So I really enjoy having the opportunity to eat some raw goods, some raw items. This particular one incorporates, you like that sunlight in my face? I know you're not supposed to really like do that when you're filming, but listen, I decided to figure out a way how to work with lentils rather than doing soup. I like things that are fried. Okay, well, we're trying to modify that in our lives right now, right? But I got the black lentils here. And I am using a couple of really interesting ingredients with this one. I am incorporating Aleppo pepper. I am also incorporating something by the name of Kelly Spicy Cheesy Parm. It's made with cashews, seasoning, and you know, the yeast stuff. But it's good, it's good. And this one is spicy because I am making spicy lentil fritters. Okay, so I've got 2 cups of cooked black lentils, no salt. I keep hearing different things like salt when you cook with your beans, make them tough. I didn't use a lot of liquid because I didn't want to have to worry about draining, because as you can see, they're very, very small and they can get all over the place. So I did cook them with quite a bit of za'atar, and I put in some coriander just because I love coriander and I love any excuse to use it. So here we go. I have 2 cups of cooked black lentils. In my little situation here, I have the spicy parm. Excuse me. First I gotta show you this. I'm using just egg. I'm using an egg substitute. I'm really, really working. I'm gonna pour it in here first so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so it runs like a beaten egg. I'm gonna put in about 3 tablespoons of that. Excuse me. Now here I have my seasoning situation. I have fresh dried parsley because I don't use enough parsley, and quite frankly it's embarrassing when you look over and it's already turned brown. I don't know, I can't figure out how to keep it in water. My son said the trick is changing the water every day. I have the Aleppo red pepper in here, and I have about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. My fantasy is to go totally salt-free, but brothers and sisters, we know beans need a little bit of salt. Now, I'll give that a nice little mix. What I have here too is a couple of tablespoons of onions. Again, I've already explained I love onions. Could be why I'm single, but let's see. This is a question I keep asking. And I have some shallots in here. Just about a tablespoon or so. Now, I'm also using spelt flour. It's just a preference. I understand that it has some different qualities, and I definitely don't want to be playing around in my life right now with white flour. So, you know, I'm trying to minimize the processing. I think I may need a little more egg, but I just want to show you what this looks like. Oops, I want to show you something else. So, I had a bunch of red peppers, and these are spicy. So, I just lop off the top. Pour out the seeds because it's dry. How did I dry it? I sat it in the windowsill. Just let it sit there until it went like dried up. And I just break it with my hand. Now, I found that if you have the pepper situation and the heat in your hand and you want to get rid of it, and a really good way I found is rubbing your fingers in citrus. So I have this going on here. This is my red. This is, because this is going to bring the heat. I have that nice smoky Aleppo pepper in here. The best thing you can do when you decide to make any kind of fritter, patty, is to refrigerate it, let it sit. At this time, if you want to, you can also mash it and get all the flavors worked up in there. And I'm gonna show you what it looks like. There you go. The sunlight hits it again. And just because I don't want to have to play, look what I have here. This is what it looks like. Okay. I'm not doing too good with it. So I wanted to give you a close-up of the goodness, really without me basking in the sunlight. Really, it's not about me, is it? So I want to show you the goodies up close with better lighting. Yes, yes, and yes. So what I did, because I love a crispy something. I really do prefer a fried something, but we're going with the baking right now. So what I did was I made a little breading to go on top. I used gluten-free breadcrumbs. Why? Because I'm fancy. I also used the Kelly seasonings. In this particular one, I used the spicy Parmesan. This one, I just used the cheesy Parmesan, and I did about 1/4 cup of the breadcrumbs and a couple of tablespoons of the Kelly seasonings, the Aleppo pepper. I probably put in about a teaspoon, about 1/2 teaspoon of the parsley, mimicking the same flavors in here in the breading. And looky. I know, it came out nice, huh? It's delicious. 350 degrees, 15 minutes, flip it for another 10, 15, and that is on really, you know, how crispy you want it. But because of the Kellys and the gluten-free breadcrumbs, you get an extra crunch because the Kellys are made out of the raw cashews, remember? Listen, I got something groovy for you. Watch this. Hi, our final treat today, incorporating all things red, black, and greens, is a really flavorful mix of premium greens. Premium greens I categorize as those with the highest nutrient that you can get for your buck. The goal is also, for me personally, and I'd like to offer to you, is to try to get as close to eating things that are most beneficial for you raw, if you can. How I do that is I have a pan here that I have heated up. I'm not afraid, onions again, yeah. I'm not afraid of onions. I encourage you to try to cut them up as thinly as possible because of the layers of onion. There's so many hidden nutrients and bam-bams in between the layers. Just try to get them as thin as possible. Pan is heated, no water, no oil. I just got my onions in here. Medium to high heat. You can add a little water if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, this is about a cup and a half of the pretty tomatoes. I did cut them in half. That squirting in my mouth thing, that doesn't work for me, so I like to cut up my cherry tomatoes even in half. I know you can hear that. I don't really like my vegetables to have to fight with my pan. You know, like Oh, it's too hot. Stop it. No, they don't need to do that. So that's okay. I'm going to turn it down some. And let them relax. Let them relax. You see how nice and pretty and red that is? Okay. Now I'm going to add some seasoning. So, again, I told you I wanted to incorporate some really old school seasoning. So, I also really like the fact that we're using more lemons and limes and things of that nature to season our greens, as opposed to salted meats. So here we go. I have, look at that. I try to be respectful of the amount, my Armenian sisters and brothers. This is some sumac. I have about 2 teaspoons of that. I have about a quarter. I'm not probably going to use all that salt. Then I have about a quarter teaspoon of allspice, just to give it that little, you know, Caribbean's like allspice, that little Caribbean in it. And I do have a nice hefty amount, probably about a half a teaspoon of cumin. So, I just want to bring out those flavors, so I'm going to let them get a little bit of heat. For real. This has a very comforting scent to it. Like if I was walking into a home and I smelled this mixture, I'd be all right with it. I'm putting in some beans, black beans, red, black. Now here's where I got the gold. The gold is the arugula and baby spinach, both babies. Put this in. You can give it a nice mush down. I've got about 5 cups or 3 cups of spinach or 2 cups of arugula. Again, don't stress about that. Put in what you have. I'm going to put the top on. I'm going to turn the fire off. Because my goal is, again, I'm trying to get as close to raw as possible, but I'm also trying to appease my already warped palate for hot stuff. So this is going to be tasty. You let this sit for a few minutes. You zhoosh it around a little. I'm telling you, it's nice. You have protein, you have fiber, you have iron, antioxidants, you have clean. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit longer. And then we will present all things red, black, and greens.
Horrible. It's just who is she?
My gosh, those visuals were beautiful. And now, like, gosh, that looks so delicious.
I'm seeing the notes. Someone said, I love a crispy thing. I just have to tell you guys, it's real bad. And I had done a couple of edits because I was talking about how I would eat a pen or a pencil or a lamp if it had like breading on it. Like I would definitely nibble off the breading off of an inanimate object. But I might bite a finger. I might bite a finger if it was breaded and fried. So be careful.
Absolutely. So great. I saw a lot of comments of people looking for the Alpo spice. I know that it's actually a really hard spice to find because it's based in Syria and you don't see it at every store.
Oh, the Aleppo?
Yeah, the Aleppo spice. If you could tell people, I guess, your secret of where you found it, because it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty. I know that I saw on a few sites, like you know, like your larger corporations, and I'm gonna add a link too for people who are interested in purchasing spices from, you know, like Black-owned businesses. But as far as the Aleppo, please feel free to fill us in.
Well, I have to be quite honest with you. I encourage each and every one of you to find a friend who doesn't look like you. And I have a friend that doesn't look like me. She's Armenian, Miss Arlene, Miss Arlene A, and she knows who she is. And she's the one that told me where to get it in Watertown here in Massachusetts. So that's what happened to me. And I had a friend who happened to be working in Watertown, and I was not going to be slight in my seasonings and come raggedy. So I wanted to come full force. She had actually shared with me a famous recipe book. I have a little speech issue. So I think the name was, but I'm going to say Mrs. B. Miss Arlene, if you're still on and you can put it in the chat, but I know it was a cookbook by a famous Armenian cookbook. And I think her name was Bobbyan or something like that. And she sent me the recipes on how to make like the stuffed vegetables and things of that nature. And I really wanted to do that. To be quite frank, I was a little bit intimidated by Miss B. And I said, well, let me go with what I know. So, but I saw somebody else mention that you can find these seasonings online too. But I just want to share with you that sumac, it has, oh my gosh, it's just like you want to kind of rub it on your fingers. Like that and cilantro I would wear as perfume if it wasn't, you know, looked upon a little odd. But I still might wear the sumac at some point. You know, imagine who I'm around. But it's very nice.
Yes. And then, oh, so you went to a local shop in Watertown.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you'll have to share that with me, Gloria.
Yes, I'll let you know. I'll let you know because I'm having a senior moment right now, so you know I can't remember the name.
That's cool.
But if it comes to me, or Miss Arlene is still on, you know, or somebody else in Massachusetts knows the name on Mount Auburn Street. Yeah. It's a bakery. It's all coming back to me now. The fog is removing. If I remember, I'll get it together.
So for everyone to know, you can purchase it in Boston without having to stop online.
Yes.
The local.
And it's nice because they sell them in a little plastic bag, so you have it forever and you can share. Now I shared one with you, Sarah. Did I just share the sumac or did I share the Aleppo?
The Aleppo, guilty. Yeah, I have some.
Yes.
Everything tastes so delicious. Like I've used it on a lot of things so far, and it has like a nice. It's like a subliminal spice, but it has enough flavor of its own. So
yeah, and it adds a little color. And I think that's important with food, especially, you know, I liked using it and the parsley with the fritters because my cousin joked at me, and I'm not going to get, you know, gross about what the fritters look like before you bread them. But I was telling them, I said, I really trying to get a close up so you can really see like the red pepper and the Aleppo in there and all that kind of stuff. So it adds flavor, but it also adds a little character and a little color.
Yeah, and I see Arlene's comment that she shared a Armenian American cookbook. So I'm definitely gonna have to look into that.
Yes.
Great. So I don't see many questions in the chat box. Oh, sumac and did you say 2 teaspoons of sumac in the warm salad?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably. Yes. yes. To everyone, I just came back from Las Vegas last night, so please forgive me if I'm a little loopy. I'm here for everybody. But you know, the senior moments are coming on me right now because of the little bit of the time difference.
Yes, and then I think from Virginia, I see a question of, are the Parmesans just shredded, or how does a person find?
Oh, yes. So I happen to be watching a little video from Tabitha Brown. For those of you, she's a vegan. My fantasy is to be a vegan, but you know, a piece of salmon fell in my mouth last night. I don't know how that happens, but you know, flesh keeps falling and chasing me. Anyways, what ended up happening was I was watching Tabitha Brown, and she was talking about how she eats mostly salt-free, and that's also a desire of mine, just because I've noticed how my joints feel when I do less salt. So she was talking about this company called Kelly's, and Kelly's does croutons. That's what they're known for, and they do a seasoning that they use raw cashews, and they season it, and they use, now the mystery word was nutritional yeast. That's always a little brain fog for me, but yes, it has nutritional yeast in it. So I actually bought like the 7-pack that has everything from lemon, pepper, garlic, spicy, parm. It has Taco Tuesday flavoring. It has a Hawaiian flavoring. So I could get a chance to see all of them. So that's what I used inside of my lentils. And because of the raw cashews, it has a nice little crunch to it. I even use the seasonings like in my soup. It adds texture. If you are a person, well, I'm a person that likes a little texture. So I like the raw cashews aspect in it. And then I like the health benefits of the raw cashews, the healthy fat and things of that nature.
Yeah, and then I guess another question that we ask is is just egg critical, or is a replacement possible?
And the recipe printout, if you don't have just egg, you could use, regular egg or whatever egg substitute. I find that the flaxseed egg sometimes is just a little too mushy-ish for me for certain things. So I prefer to use like the just egg. And what else have I used? Aquafaba, the chickpea water.
Mhm.
If you need to add that kind of texture. Now listen, whatever you have in the house, you can use. You can use a couple of tablespoons of mayonnaise if that's where you're headed. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you have in the house. If you have vegan mayonnaise, you just want to add a little moisture, a little binder to hold it together. That's basically why I use the eggs. So, and the just egg, I will say this, like on a little down low, I've tried scrambling with just egg, doesn't work. Just egg is perfect for like a toaster oven or like something you bake, because it comes out kind of like a souffle. That's just a little side note, folks.
Perfect. And then we have another question from Josie. It was, are there options for other greens besides spinach and arugula?
Oh, absolutely. This is all about what you have in your house. I just happened to be extra fancy that day and had arugula and the baby spinach. So let me tell you what I keep in my house, because like I said, things that, when you're trying to eat fresh things, you have to either cook and put away, or if you know how to store them. And there are ways to store, like I have glass jars and things that I can store stuff in. But I go to BJ's and I buy the organic spinach and kale, and I keep it in the freezer. I also keep a good, like the refrigerated salsa in my refrigerator, because I'm going to tell you folks, one of the quickest recipes you can do, and if you have children and you're trying to get them to eat greens, this is what I did with mine. Heat up some salsa as much as you want. Tomatoes release the lycopene once you cook them. So I always cook tomatoes. I'm not really big on raw tomatoes, but that helps to release their nutrients. And then you mix your greens in, and children like it. For years, my children thought they were eating like fancy holiday collard greens. They didn't know it was spinach and kale. So because of the salsa, and that's how I started making my collards differently, because I didn't want to use smoked greens. I started using salsa because I know my kids will eat salsa. Absolutely gets them to eat it every time. If your kids, if you need to put more salsa in it for your children, do it. If you have the spinach and kale, put it with a side of chips and have them dip the chips, get good chips and dip it into the spinach and the salsa. Just get it down their little bellies. However you do, just get it in there.
Oh my gosh, that's such a brilliant tip. That's so cute. Because yeah, you're a mother of 2 sons. I forgot to add that in the bio.
Yes, yes. Oh yeah, well, I like to forget them sometimes too,
but yeah, freezing greens. Yes, I freeze my greens all the time. I see a comment on that. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Collard greens, spinach, absolutely. And yeah, if you're using them for cooking, it's so easy.
Oh yes.
Of course the thawing is going to be different, but for cooking it has that same effect, and it's good.
Yes.
And they'll last longer.
Yes, I saw someone mention, I think it was Marion mentioned that her aunt used to put spinach in the mashed potatoes. Well, I used to put carrots in the mac and cheese for my kids. I don't know. I grew up eating carrots, but it just wasn't like a preference as I became an adult. So the other things too is if it's not an expense, keep a bag of shredded carrots in your bin in the refrigerator. Hint, they last forever. Like forever, ever. And so I just kept going back like weeks later. I'm like, you're still here? But you can put shredded carrots in everything. It's just like you heat up some broth, some veggie broth, you throw some carrots in, and you feel fancy. It's all about the fancy for the day.
Yeah. And then oh yeah, that's so funny. When you were talking about that, I think in my household, we actually add cauliflower to our mac and cheese. I had been tricked for years. I didn't even know until I was recently told. I was like, wow, okay, I have to start doing that now because I like it.
Yeah, I had to sneak cauliflower in. My oldest one went to camp, and when they asked him what he was allergic to, he put cauliflower. So you have to hide it. You can't tell your children's everything. It becomes a problem. Too much information. But
and then I do see a comment here. It was basically fresh greens that you freeze. Do you wash them before freezing them? I personally blanch my greens. So you heat them up on the stove, and then you put them in a cold kind of bowl with ice in it, because you want to quickly cool them down, and then I wrap them up and put them in the freezer. But Glorya, is that how you do it?
Well, my greens that I have in the freezer are already frozen. If I have fresh ones, and then I usually don't freeze my fresh unless I cook them. If I do wash them, I do a baking soda wash, which is at least a tablespoon. You can either fill a sink, it matters how much greens you have, or you can just use like a bowl. And, I have big hands, but, imagine how many greens you have, but at least put like a tablespoon or 2 and baking soda, swish your greens in for about 5 or 10 minutes. And that's a good, healthy way to clean off your vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely. So baking soda. Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, that's the wash. That's the wash. But I will tell you guys, if you have an opportunity, I mentioned Michael Greger at the beginning of the video. And I have kind of probably like an unhealthy crush on him. He is a physician, and he is a physician for the World Health Organization. And he has a website called Nutrition Facts. And I recommend everyone to take a moment. I don't want you all crushing on him because he's my guy, even though he's married. I say that, and I just, I don't want to have to hurt anybody. But anyways, he has some incredible information, even how to work with cruciferous vegetables. He talked about before you cook them, to cut them and let them sit for 45 minutes, because the enzyme that you need. Exactly, Debbie. Isn't he adorable? I'm sorry. So someone knows. So he talks about how you cut your cruciferous vegetables and let them sit for 45 minutes. The enzyme, I believe, that needs to come out to help your food digest and make you healthy and vibrant, that comes out in that 45 minutes. However, if you have frozen vegetables, you don't have to worry about that with the cruciferous vegetables. But he has amazing information. So nutritionfacts.org, please check him out and get yourself together, get yourself healthy. 2021. I'm turning 59 tomorrow.
Yes, but you
Yes.
look fantastic.
Yes, yes. So Michael's been very helpful. He talks about having herbs like cumin and apples and using apple cider vinegar, but he's really clear about, thank you, Miss Nancy, thank you. He talks about how to, incorporate just like the real healthy, like unprocessed things in our lives. And as I mentioned, unfortunately, I have 50 plus years of my metabolism being manipulated, my taste buds, being just ripped apart. So when folks talk about how they can't get off of Pepsi or they can't stop eating this, it really is almost like an addiction. This stuff is real. It's embedded in us in some cases, and sometimes it's just like it's so deep. If you were eating it while you were pregnant, and it's in our children's systems. So I encourage you to check out Nutrition Facts. Use Oldways recipes. Zhush them up however you can. When I did a 6-week program with 15 families, I just used whatever I had in the bag that was all fresh. I didn't talk about spices. I talked about what people had in their house, and I asked them to just investigate the healthier spices. I didn't ask them to take away anything. I also asked them just to pay attention to how much salt they were using. Salt and sugar sugar is a real dangerous issue. But if you remember as a child, and we used to do this, like pouring salt on top of slugs and worms and watch how they dried out. And as I got older, I thought about that and how it affected my joints. And quite frankly, I just felt like I was too, cute and juicy to be holding on to the hand railing at 59 years old, because that's what was happening last year. And I just said, Glorya, let's start with the things sugar and salt, and it helps. And Oldways and incorporating your recipes, and it helps. Yes, LaToya, cute and juicy.
Yes, I saw a comment, and I think it was from Arlene, and she had mentioned 7 Bakery in Mount Auburn. That's where you could buy.
Yes, thank you, Arlene.
Also, yes, shop local. So
yes,
these places in business. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
So we have a lot of happy birthdays. I know we're getting ready to end soon. Unfortunately, this has been so much fun. Does anyone have any last questions about the cooking demo, or questions for our amazing Glorya? And also, Glorya does not have a written cookbook, but I bet it's in the works. This woman is amazing. She has so many at-home recipes, but also she has the YouTube channel. And Glorya, feel free to share any additional information.
Right. Well, my YouTube channel, actually, my love, thank you. But I'm kind of took that down and building it up. But if you'd love to email me, you can email me. I just started a business last month at GoGoBytes Food, GOGOBYTES, just like gigabytes, but go, gotta keep it moving. GoGoBytesFood@gmail.com, or on Instagram at GoGoBytes. And I'll respond to you. But I'm excited about this journey that we all are going on. And in your video that you had for Oldways, it was a woman who talked about how she started teaching the classes, and it just, I'm still overweight, but thankfully I'm not on any medications because I made some changes. And if you can just start to make some changes and join folks, you've cooked a lot of greens, maybe you can just knock on your neighbor's door and leave them and say, give the best that you have. And sometimes it's just as simple as a nice meal or an entree or a side.
Oh yeah, just from what you cooked in the demo, I know you said some of them were sides, but it was delicious and filling enough to really be a full-on lunch/dinner. So
yeah, I passed it on to Sarah, folks. Folks, I made Sarah come to my house and pick up the food to taste it. I really did. I was just make sure.
Yeah, and I made my way.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Local distance, but I had to do it, you know.
And this is when I jump in, because the clock is just slowly coming to 11. To Glorya, thank you for being on this journey with us. We remember with such joy when you first gave that demonstration, when what that was our last program, when we all gathered together, and we were just beaming for days after, never realizing that that was your first foray and your first time.
Well, that was my first time was Martin Luther King, and then I did it again like in February for you guys.
Well, I have to tell you, you were a seasoned professional then. So thank you. Join us. We're on this journey with you. We look forward to gathering everyone and having a chance for everyone to meet you when it's safe to gather together at the park. Thank you all for joining us. Emmanuel Ozuwu, you are a gift as well, an important collaborator of the park. Oldways, we treasure your friendship. You are guiding us through this journey as well. Love to you all. Thank you so much. Glorya, remarkable woman. Happy birthday. And that comes from all of us. If you can hear everyone singing, we're doing it. Goodbye, everybody. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.